Hey guys, it's Jessie. It is the last day in May, and I am so excited to be here with you guys, share what I read. I did not read a lot of books. I actually read a lot more comic books this month just because it fit in a little bit better with my schedule. But I did finally finish the one book that I was kind of struggling with over the past 2 months, so I'm going to share that with you. I do have full reviews coming of everything, but again, we're just going to kind of run through things. And then also share the books that I accumulated this month. So here we go. The one and only book that I actually read during the month of May was The Swans of Fifth Avenue by Melanie Benjamin. Now this book is about Truman Capote, who was a novelist during the 1950s and 60s, and it's about him befriending the Swans. And all of the Swans, for example, like Babe Pally, were very big in the fashion world. They were married to rich men. They were the iconic women of this era, and it was about Truman befriending these swans, hanging out with them, going to lunches, going to parties, going on vacations, the lavish lifestyle and the glamorous everyday things that they did to appear beautiful, and the best clothes and all of that stuff. And it did also have a lot of gossip between them all. I did struggle a lot with this book and was really hoping for a little bit more. I gave it a 3 out of 5 just because it was so slow paced and it took me forever to really get into it. But I did enjoy it by the end. And like I said, I gave it a 3 out of 5. I do have a full review, so that will be linked below. The first comic that I've continued on with this month is Lumberjanes Volume 3, and it is a terrible plan. And I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about this one. The first two were the same art style. This one jumps to a different one, and I wasn't sure because I had loved the first two so much if this one would really do it for me, and I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 and really think it did a fantastic job. Not only did the art do well, but the story was so much better. I feel like we got to really know the girls individually and not just as a group. So I can't wait to continue on with this because the humor and the adventure just have me, and I really do enjoy the series. So I hope you guys will read this too and let me know what you think. I will also go a little bit further in depth in a comic book review that I am doing very shortly, so stay tuned for that, and I will leave the link when that is ready. Otherwise, subscribe so you're the first to get it. The next one I read was on NetGalley, and if you don't know what NetGalley is, it is a website where you can sign up and be able to request advanced copies of ebooks of different ones that are getting ready to be released. I had no idea that they had a comic book section until I got an email that said popular comics. And so I had seen the cover of this one called Claw, which was a collection of the first through the third volume, and I instantly requested it because the cover alone and the synopsis, it made it sound fantastic. It involves our main character, Angel, who has no idea what his family really does, seems to be a little bit lost and confused with himself, and he is being beaten up by some bullies at school. A long story short, he ends up being rescued by this tiger, and it's kind of about these animal spirits that, again, goes back and ties into his family, and everything just seems a little too far-fetched in my opinion, and too many things were happening all at once. I wish it would have been either just a superhero or just something, but to have everything kind of mixed really just didn't do it for me, and so I was a little bit disappointed in how this all turned out. I do think it was okay. I did enjoy the art. The story just wasn't there for me. And I guess it wasn't just the story alone, it was that the story was also very rushed, and so you didn't get to know much about anything, and it left me questioning, along with just, like I said, just too many things happening and too many weird things coming together all at once. It just wasn't what I thought it would be. So I want to thank NetGalley for giving me the copy in exchange for an honest review. I'm going to go a little bit further in depth in the next comic book review that I do, so stay tuned for that as well, just like I said with Lumberjanes. Otherwise, it was interesting and it was okay, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I had hoped. I did give it a 3 out of 5. The next ones that I have is a series that I've been reading, and it is Sweet Tooth. I read Volume 1, 2, and 3. Volume 1 is Out of the Deep Woods. Volume 2 is In Captivity. Volume 3 is Animal Armies, and these are so great. So I'm going to give you a little backstory. We went up to Fort Collins, and we ran into this little comic book shop. We had no idea what to expect, so my husband and I were just browsing around, and I eventually ended up asking the guy behind the counter for a recommendation. I told him we love Walking Dead, we were looking for a comic series that we could get into together. He highly recommended Sweet Tooth. while I had no idea what it was about, he said it was similar to that and that he thought we would enjoy it. So we did take a chance and bought the first volume. Instantly got home and read it and really enjoyed it and ordered 2 and 3, and I am now on the verge of pressing that buy button for 4, 5, and 6 because I really can't wait to finish this. It is about our main character Gus, and this is him, and it is about the world that gets this plague and basically kills off everybody. So it's a post-apocalyptic, and we are left with these new breeds of humans called hybrids that are, as you can see, have some animal characteristics. So this is Gus, and it's us following Gus. In the first one, we kind of start out where he's lost his family, and he's been told don't leave the woods, and he does. And so as things start to unravel, he starts to realize that the world is not at all what he had pictured or been, what he had been told is actually true and is what's happening. He ends up being rescued by this guy named Jeopard. They go on this little adventure, and Jeopard is supposed to be taking Gus to this hybrid sanctuary called the Preserve. Things do not turn out the way that anybody really thought, and as we continue through the series, it's just unbelievable. I just finished the third one, and I really, really loved it. I think each one has gotten better and stronger with the story and the characters, and I'm just really, really loving this. So again, I'm going to do a more in-depth review on each of these. So please stay tuned for that. Otherwise, if you love anything kind of post-apocalyptic, anything like that, Walking Dead, I think this is right up your alley, and it has really surprised me. So I'm pretty happy about that. It's also been compared to a Mad Max of sorts. I'm not quite there to the Mad Max thing, but I would definitely relate it a little bit more towards like The Walking Dead. So I do think that guy at the comic book shop gave us a great recommendation, and I'm really happy with these. My husband did read the first one and also really enjoyed it and read it fairly quickly, so I was pretty impressed that it kept his attention as well, because he's a little bit harder to entertain than I am. So definitely pick these up. I highly recommend them. I gave the first 2 a 4 out of 5 and the third a 5 out of 5. Really, really enjoying this, like I said, and I can't wait to get my hands on the last 3. The last part of this video, I want to share the books that I did pick up through the month of May, and the first one is Ready Player One, which I am so excited about because I keep hearing such fantastic things about this. So Ready Player One by Ernest Cline is high on my list, and I can't wait to read this one. The next book I picked up was The Shack by William Paul Young, and this is one that I used to have on my Kindle. Now, I don't use my Kindle because I really like reading off of a physical copy, so when I saw this at Second and Charles in the free bin, I instantly snatched it up and could not have been more excited about it. I really did enjoy it. I remember it being super sad, but it's been such a long time since I've read it, so I can't wait to do a reread of this one. The next book I found at Second and Charles was Silver Linings Playbook by Matthew Quick, and this is another one that I adored the movie and cannot wait to read, because if the movie is that good, the book has got to be better. So I'm very happy about this find. It was only $5, and like I said, pretty pumped about it. Another find at Second and Charles was Eclipse. So if you watched a while back, I did a big book haul from Second and Charles and was able to find all of the Twilights that matched except for Eclipse. So I've been stopping in every so often to look for it, and I've been in 2 or 3 times and wasn't able to get it. This time they had it, and I was so happy to have the complete collection. This is another one that was on the Kindle way back when I first got it, and I've never touched them since, and I would love to be able to have that physical copy and eventually reread the series. So I now have the complete series, and I'm very happy about it. The last book I picked up this month was actually from Amazon, and it is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I've only read one Coho book, and it was Confess, and I absolutely loved it. So when I asked other people what their favorites were, it was either November 9 or Ugly Love. So I ended up getting Ugly Love, and I'm in need of another Coho book. So I'm pretty pumped about this one, and can't wait to get started, because if it's as good as everyone says, then it's going to be worth it. But I'm ready to cry and ready to laugh and feel good and all that good stuff. I love the way these make you feel things. The feels. Pretty pumped to have this on my shelf, and I hope to get to this very soon. So that is everything I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I look forward to more. To kind of continue on with the book haul, I did get this amazing box today, and I'm doing an unboxing, so stay tuned for that. It's a part of a summer reading challenge, and it is amazing. I've already kind of gone through it, and I have a video coming your way along with sneak peeks on Instagram, so be sure to follow and subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys. Until because I keep hearing such fantastic